Hello, I am parenting and happiness coach Garima, and today we are going to talk about bad behavior in children. Because you see, the most common complaint that parents have is that their children have started acting in a very mean way, bad way, ways that they did not expect from their child. And this happens especially when children are about 5 years old or so. They're in early schools, preschools, etc., or just going to grade 1. And the behavior can be many different things. For example, biting or pushing or throwing somebody's things, breaking things, or refusing to share, and even lying. And all these, there's a variety of bad behaviors that parents become concerned about. And then they reach out to me through various mothering Facebook groups, through my own Facebook group, which is called Garima Parenting. And the first question, after knowing the age of the child, the first question I have to ask them is, what changed in the child's life? You see, we can suddenly choose to move our house, move the city where we live because we got a better job opportunity somewhere else, or we had to move back in with our parents because they were unwell, or sometimes a new baby has come into the family. And all of these changes, which are so happy changes for the adults, they're happy for a promotion, they're happy to go back to their parents or have a baby. But any such change, for many children, it can be very disturbing. And if you go and meet the teacher also in the school, the teacher will ask something very similar to you, that what has changed in this child's life? This child was not like this. It was not the child's natural personality, but now their behavior has suddenly become very aggressive. They are talking back, or not finishing their work, or screaming for attention, and all of that. And while I understand that we need to make these changes, they are, and in the long run, they are extremely beneficial for the child. But this is one tip that I wanted to give the parents, that even if you think your child is too young to realize anything, they're only 3 years old, what do they understand about anything? What do they understand about pandemic and disease and death and all of that? Don't think that way. The children are absorbing so many vibrations from around them. They are absorbing the tension in the household, or the worries that people have around them. And sometimes, like if we are having another baby, then the energy around them is very joyous, but the child can feel completely disconnected from this joy. The child can feel as if the spotlight which was always on them has suddenly switched off. So they can feel guilty. Did I do something wrong? Is mummy, papa, are they angry with me? Because suddenly all the conversation is around the baby. You know, the baby is going to come, we need a crib, a baby blanket, we need so many clothes and bottles and whatnot. So much preparation is done for the baby. We did more than that for the first child, but they weren't there to see it. So this time can be a time where the child starts to feel disconnected, cut off from the happy energy of the house. And because the child is so young, they don't understand what's going on. And so they can feel very, very lonely, and like nobody understands them. And these are the heavy emotions which then they act out. Because children can't watch Netflix series or go have a drink with friends in a bar to get over their emotions. They just act out. They are so natural, so spontaneous. This is the change that parents notice. This is the behavior change that their teachers notice, that this child is suddenly acting out and misbehaving. And then they start looking for ways to help. So, if you are in such a place where you've had a new baby and noticed a lot of behavior changes in the older child, my biggest recommendation is, even though caring for your baby is a high priority and it exhausts you, but make sure that at least there is 1 hour in the day when somebody else is taking care of the baby completely, and 1 hour you give completely to your first child. Because you see, the first child has many needs, and just because a new baby is born, those needs don't go away. They have a need for routine, they have a need for attention, they have a need for stimulation, they have a need to have some kind of quiet time and downtime, they have a need to be touched and held and hugged. So, when we make total dedicated time for the first child, even if we have a new baby, that's when we can get them to open up and we can meet these needs with them, provided we are aware of it. If we start blaming them, what's wrong with you? Why are you behaving like a baby yourself? Then what has happened is already they are feeling cut off. Already they are feeling lonely and that nobody understands them. And we have actually shown that we don't understand them by saying, what's wrong with you? How does the child know? The child has no idea what is wrong. So, this is my request to parents. If you notice misbehavior in your child, check what has been the change in the child's life, what can they be feeling, and give them dedicated time during which you stop talking and you start listening. Simple. Stop talking, start listening. Play the games the child enjoys. Don't say, let's play that brain building game. Why should we decide all the time? Let the child lead. And slowly you will notice anything that is upsetting the child. It will start to come out. And most importantly, by doing this, we have met the child's need for attention, the child's need for cuddling and love from the parent, and their need for a routine and their need for feeling safe and secure. So, if you would like to understand more about the needs of the first child, then you can refer to my ebook, which is called Birth of Sibling: How to Ease the Change for Your First Child. It's available as an ebook on Amazon. But suppose you're not in that stage yet. You're just pregnant with your second child and you want to prevent these things. You want to prevent sibling rivalry. You want to prevent the child from feeling insecure and jealous. You want to be able to help them before something wrong happens. Then I've written this book for it. It's called I'm Going to Be a Big Brother. Will Mummy Still Love Me? So this is a children's picture book where I start out by talking about a boy, Adu, who has just been told that a new baby is on the way. So the good news has just been given to Adu. But then Adu doesn't know anything about babies. He had a very happy life and very satisfied life. He had no need for a sibling because he had his dadi, mummy, papa, and his pet dog, so Raja. And so he's wondering, like, why do we even need a baby? Because for him it's like rocking a boat. And slowly he's all the questions that he's got: what will the baby eat, where will the baby sleep, they are getting answered in very simple language. And with these beautiful illustrations, your child will ultimately, after understanding about nursing and whether the baby can play right away or it takes some time, and what to expect when the parents are in the hospital to bring the baby, ultimately this first child, Adu, develops a plan for being a good big brother. There we have it. I have a plan. And he's realized that his role is changing, it's shifting, but it's still a wonderful role. And as a big brother, all the things that he would love to do for his baby brother or sister, whoever is born, and then he recognizes ultimately that being a big brother is really cool. And so that's the journey that we helped the first child make. And like I said before, I wrote this big book very specifically because I've seen so much bad behavior in perfectly wonderful angels because they were not mentally prepared for the change that was going to come in their life when a baby is born. Forget the child, even mothers actually are caught quite unawares with how different things become once the second baby is born. First child is very different from having the second child because now you have an older child to take care of as well. So that's the whole and sole reason for writing. So to prevent the first child from feeling jealous or insecure or having any sense of rivalry towards the second one, because ultimately it's all about helping humans be so happy, so content, and so good at having relationships that ultimately this world becomes even more beautiful every day. So it just keeps becoming more and more beautiful. Thank you so much for watching.